Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to make an envelope style journal. Now, when I started out to do this, I had an envelope all cut for it, but I decided that I really didn't need that envelope, that I was just going to use scrapbook paper. So, because I was having a little trouble with the envelope, so we just scrapped that idea and we're going to go without the envelope. So if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I cut my top piece, or my outside piece, at about 8 1/4 wide by 9 3/8 long. So it would be like the size of the envelope. Then my inside piece is just a little tiny bit longer than that, but I have to trim it. So you can just go by the same size. So I had my window cut in to fit my envelope, but well, like I say, I was having a little trouble with my envelope, so we just scrapped that idea. So I have my window. We're just not going to have the little acrylic thing behind it. I mean, you could, if you wanted, you could put a piece of it in there, but I don't really think that I need to. And this is what I chose to put behind my window. And that's the only reason why I really thought about doing an envelope, because I wanted this to show as my little fancy. So, but once it's glued down, you don't need that plastic in there, only if you want it. So we're going to go ahead and glue this in. Now, I made marks back here. I had all kinds of marks from when I was doing the envelope, and I erased them. So I have these marks so it lines up where I need it to line up at. So I'm going to kind of do a little bit at a time, because I'm using my Fabri-Tac, so I don't want it to set up before I'm able to glue it down. Let me see. I think I'm up a little high here. I moved my camera again, or my thing that my phone sits in. So I have to remember that I don't have to have it up in Never Never Land. So I'm just going to run some glue down here. And I probably should have my little piece of wax paper on here so I don't glue to my table. Then I'm just going to turn it, make sure everything is still lined up. And I can go down to where these lines are. So that gives me an idea where I can go. Let me turn it and make for sure that I'm still where I want it to be. I think so. On this side, I just want to make for sure that I flatten it out good, because it's kind of trying to ripple a little bit. And I don't want it to ripple. Okay. So there, oops. Here's my oops. There we go. So there's my little window with my little flower in it. I think that's kind of cute. Now I went around the inside of my window and I inked it so no white or anything would show. So we'll just go over it a little bit. And this, I got at a yard sale. I only paid 50 cents for it. The yard sale was a crafting yard sale, and I bought so much stuff. It was fun. Okay, now that I got that done, I want to try to figure out if I want to fold it in half first or if I just want to put this on here because it's just going to be glued down, because it's like it's going to be the inside and the outside of my envelope, and then I could probably score it down the center and fold it easier. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. But I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. So I want to stay close to my, well, let me see. I want to put the glue on this one because this piece is a little bit bigger than my outside. So I just want to run it around my outside, and then when I get it all glued together, I can trim it. And I can just lay this down on here. Make sure that I have a little bit of that white showing all the way around. If I go off of the camera a little bit, sorry, but I have to see where I'm putting it. Just not getting it lined up like I like. I think that's good. Okay, we did it. So I'm just going to flatten my glue out carefully around my window. So this is just a good idea if you don't have the envelope that you want to use. You can just use 2 pieces of paper if you want the inside finished. If you don't, you know, you can just ink it or stencil it. By putting 2 pieces of paper together, it's just going to make the journal a little bit sturdy. Let me put my cap on this for a minute. Now, I want to mark where my center is And it's right there. I'm going to go with that little mark right there. And that mark, I'm going to move it. This is with the inside piece, it's like 8 1/4. But I have a little tiny bit over here. Maybe I ought to trim it first. I guess I had said that I was going to trim it after I glued it, but I guess I forgot. So how's everyone doing today, and what's everyone working on? And did you have a nice weekend? Had a nice weekend. It wasn't overly busy. That was good. Okay. Now let's set it on our scoreboard and see what we got. All right, so I have 8 1/4. Okay, so I just folded it a little bit right here to bring my ends together. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/8. What did I do with my little score jobby? Here it is. So I'm going to score it on both sides. So that should make it fold a little easier. Move this out of the way. So now my back piece doesn't match. Let me see what I have up here. I have about 4 1/16 and 4 1/8. So I'm going to have to trim this again. Let me do it on my big trimmer. Okay, my big paper trimmer's on the other side of the room, and that's easier, so I got even edges. So we'll just kind of flatten this a little bit more, just so it lays kind of flat. And then we'll flatten this some more. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add a signature into it, but I also want to add pockets. So my thoughts was I could have 3 on one side and 1 on the other, but I can't remember what I was doing right here in this little area. Could always add, now this paper is light enough that it can be written on Or I could just add the 2 pockets on each side. Hang on just a second. Okay, so I guess I forgot all about that bare spot. So all I'm going to do is take these 2 little pieces of paper, lined paper, and I glued them together here at the top, folded them back. I'm just going to glue it up here in place. And I think the ones with the green lines go good with the green leaves. And then you can have it to write on. And you can lift both of them up. Then you can have a picture under here, or you can still journal on this because it's light enough. So that's what we're going to do. So I think just to make it look a little fancier, I'm going to round the corners. Just because I like the corners rounded. And then I'll just go around the top one a little tiny bit with my ink. Seeing how I inked everything else. So these pockets are lightly inked. I didn't ink around the outside because it wasn't put together. So, and I inked my tags. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. Just kind of bend this back a little bit so it lays down flat. And then the backs of it, I made it, you know, so it could lift up, and the backs of it can be journaled on. Also, there just isn't any lines. So we'll put that there. And then that will be on that side. And then that just, like if you have a little note you want to write down or a little something something, then you have that there. Okay, now we can glue our pockets on. I'm just going to glue the 3 sides. I thought this would make a nice little standalone. You could put it in your purse or your bag, whatever you carry. You could give it to someone as a gift. I just want to make sure I don't go off the camera down here. And it would be nice size just for something small. Oops, gotta go over away from the seam a little bit. And then with the signature in there, that'll give them a little extra writing also. Make a great Christmas present, or birthday, or Friends Day. I'm not going to set these real high. My tags aren't big, but I don't want them to go over at the top, hopefully. Let me see. I probably will. Yeah, a little bit. Let me see if I can move this down some. Yes, I can. Oh, I'm wiping my paper off. Luckily, it'll be hidden. So we'll just stack them a little closer together. So we'll go down here closer. And then we'll come down here a little closer. Hopefully them are halfway even. Okay. So we have tags to go in here. This says, she's an old soul with young eyes, a vintage heart, and a beautiful mind. The little ladybug. How cool. And then this says, dream on, little dreamer. And I love butterflies. Okay, just making sure that it's going in all the way. Then we have notes with another butterfly. And something to do today for the better. So we'll put that in up here, and it just comes to the top. Then we have these little flowers. I thought we would stick one in each pocket with the other journal cards. They're a little bit smaller, but that doesn't matter. They don't have to be big. Now, if I think I need to, I can barely trim the top of this one. And we'll just ink it a little bit more. And there we go. That's better. So that's our tags for the inside. And then on the outside, I'm going to put one pocket on the front. And then I'm going to put 3 pockets on the back. So I thought it would just be a cool little journal with pockets and little journal tags or journal cards, whatever you want to call them. And I'm just using the papers from the inside and out, just alternating them, because I like to do that. Then for these other pockets, we have just like little ferny leafy things and flowers. So we'll put one of them in there and one of these little flowers. Now you could go back and you can decorate your flowers up more. I'm not going to decorate, your pockets. I'm not going to decorate them up more today. If I decide what I want to do with it, then I might put a little bit of lace on it or little tags or something. So then back here, I'm going to have my 3 pockets. Now these tags are a little bit shorter than the other ones that I was using. So these ones may be all right. And I think the papers go together well. The colors in them go good. I think I need to trim something right there. So I'll just do the same thing on these as I did the inside. I'll just set them a little closer together. And I didn't tell you the size of my pockets. They're about almost 4 inches wide by about 2 3/8. But you would make it to fit whatever size you make your journal. So then we have these. And these. Okay, and then we have some more of these little flowers. So I think that's a cute idea, having the little tags with the bigger tags. And your writing space, your tags in here, and your tags back there. That'll make a cute little journal. So now let me put my cap in, or my pin in my glue. And I have, can't remember if it's 8 sheets of paper. I did some colorful paper. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8. And I cut this to be just a little bit shorter. So it's about 9 inches by 4 inches folded, so it would be 9 inches by 8 inches when you cut it. And then it'll just sit right in here. And I think that's going to make awful cute little journal. And we'll just paper clip these in. Make sure I have it up the right way. Okay, let me get my stuff gathered up. Okay, so I'm going to use this So Easy floss with the brown tones. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. This color here is Quicksand. I also got this at the same yard sale. I think I paid 50 cents for it. Pretty cool. All right, so I already poked my holes. I have my floss in my needle. And we're just going to start in the center. And then go up to the top. I didn't poke my holes very big. I was hoping that I would be able to use a smaller needle so the holes wouldn't be so big, but I unfortunately couldn't do that. Let me go through this way first. Get my hole all set up for me. Then we're going to go down here to the bottom. I don't get all tangled up in everything. And then we're going to come back to the center. Now when you come back to the center, you want to make sure that you're on each side of the center string. So if it doesn't come through on the other side, once you get it in here, you just kind of pull it over to the other side. And you want to pull your string, your floss, whatever you use, so it's pretty tight but not tearing your paper. And then just tie a couple knots. And you can tie a little bow. You can leave this down here to add gems to. I think I'll just leave it hang down this time. So we'll cut it off right there and take these off. And then that'll fold over. And then we'll have to have a little something to go around it because, like, it's not going to stay closed, that's for sure. So we can just kind of burnish this down a little bit. And go to the back and just burnish this down a little bit. And maybe that'll help just a little bit. Now you can cover your spine with lace or whatever you want. So we have our tags and our little window with our pretty flower, our writing paper, our other tags. You can go through and decorate your papers if you want. I thought instead of just making these all like the coffee dyed colors and that, I would use some pretty colorful papers, nothing real bright. But if you give it as a gift, the person that's receiving it, they might like the colorful papers better than the coffee dyed. Then we have these tags and these tags and these tags here. And turn it over to the back and we have these tags and these tags and these tags. And like I say, you can decorate your pockets. Now you could either put a wrap around it. You can put a fancy clothespin paper clip on it to hold it shut. And I think that would be pretty cute too if you just did the paper clip and had some little beads or something on it. That might be pretty fancy also. So I think I'm just going to leave it paper clipped and go with that for now. So that's our video for today. So let me know down in the comments what you think, and do you think you would try to make one? It's easy to make. Easy project. So hope you come back to see me for my next video. And until then, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.